Very good morning. It's Gordon Bennett TV. It's 10 a.m. here in the Gordon Bennett TV studio in Munster in Germany. The Tutuma time right now, 61 hours, 58 minutes, 44 seconds. Thomas Hora is with me. Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, Regan.
What a day we've got ahead of us.
It's incredible. It's such an exciting day. I'm almost shaking that of excitement.
We've got so much to tell you, so much to get through. We know you've got lots of questions. Get those questions coming through. Type them in as well. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Even get a selfie and post it into the chat so we can see where you are and where you're looking from. Let's tell you how it stands right now. Your top five. Germany 1,985 kilometers. France 3 in fourth place, 2009. Third place, Austria 2, 2019. Swiss 1, second place, 2013. Out in the front in the lead, France 1, 2035. Thomas, we've got lots of videos to get through. Let's have a quick analysis before we get to them.
But 4 balloons already over 2,000. That is unique in Europe. So let's go through it. So here you see parts of Portugal and southern Spain. And you see there were some balloons who kind of, I call it the highway to victory. They exited it. It's probably due to ballast. You know, you needed to stay on this highway. You needed to ballast quite a bit. And I think these were just out of ballast, so they were not able to sustain this really good track. We have here a couple of balloons now going to the southwestern tip of Portugal. You can actually see that Austria 2 is right now over the ocean. Next stop is Brazil. No, we hope, we think that they will turn in, but it needs a lot of courage to go overseas with heading Brazil. You know, you need to really rely on your mad people.
Yes.
That the wind will shift and will come back again.
Incredible. The Tutuma time right now, just past 62 hours. 62 hours in flight, like you say, over 2,000 kilometers in Europe. It's an incredible achievement so far.
It's incredible, and it's incredible that so many balloons did it, you know. That means you see that the balloons and the teams are getting more and more performant. And to do maneuvers like that, you need quite some ballast. And we are 62 hours into the race. So, and these teams all have ballast.
Let's check in with Mark Sullivan and Cherry White, USA 3.
Good morning. It's Sherry White and Mark Sullivan. We've landed safely in Spain. Mark, how was the landing?
It was great. A little windy, but it's okay.
Yeah, we're down safe. That's all that matters. Here's a view of the balloon in the mountains. Well, it won't turn, so I'll have to do it like this. There's our balloon right on the road. And all our lovely gear, which we've got to start organizing. Have a nice day. Bye.
Good stuff. And a few moments ago, before he came in the studio, I was speaking to them live. Let's have a look. Okay, joining me on the line, USA 3, Mark Sullivan, Cherry White. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
And welcome to the ground in Spain.
Yes, it's a lovely day.
Tell me about the morning. Tell me about the from sunrise onwards.
Mark? Me?
Well, sunrise, we decided we'd land, so we got caught in that high pressure, low on ballast. We couldn't go up, so we were trapped. So we thought it'd be best to land. So we hunted down this spot here. We were in the mountains, so it was kind of rough trying to find a place to land. But we found this one house here and a road, so that's where we're at.
And some sheep. Here's the picture of the balloon.
Wonderful.
You see our landing spot?
Yes.
Yeah. And all our gear, I'll just walk around a little. It's spread out everywhere. There's the house, the sheep. Here's all the gear over here. That was all in the basket.
That's incredible.
Crazy, huh? Yeah.
How would you describe the flight in total for your race?
First part of the flight was awesome. We liked our route, except, well, we had to cross the Pyrenees in the night, and that was a little scary. And then we had to avoid Madrid airspace, and that was a little iffy, but we did. And then we were really speeding down, had a beautiful flight down a valley, and I can't get me in it. There.
A little bit more around.
There. This way?
Yeah, that's right, yes.
There we go. And then last night we ended up in the middle of the high pressure, and we were going 0 miles an hour, 1.2. And because we were trying to conserve ballast to go a third day, we were staying low to the ground. And if you looked at our track, we did a big circle.
Yeah.
And we debated this morning whether to go up and just try to fly another day and land at sunset, or to do the safe thing and land this morning. And we chose the safe thing and landed this morning.
Well, you both look great. You look like you've just stepped out of a first-class cabin. You wouldn't think you've been in the air for the last couple of days.
I can't to hold it the right way. Well, I did put on a clean shirt, and your hand's covering the thing. Whoops. Oh, now you lost.
Wait a
We
minute.
got you.
Okay.
You're just
Well,
a little
you
bit
can't
low
see.
down. That's right. There we go. How's the temperature
Okay.
down there? How's the temperature?
That's perfect.
Right now it's nice. I'd say it's probably 68 or so, but it's supposed to warm up to 85 today. So Franz and Patrick are on their, we're kind of up in the mountains, and so they've got to do a little bit of, your finger's going to be on.
No, well, they went away.
They're there.
I'm here with you
them.
guys. What about that launch from Munster? Tell me about the launch and the whole procedure with the castle in the background and the crowd. That was pretty something, eh?
That was awesome. Y'all did a great job. Tomas did a wonderful job launching everybody. It was really spectacular. The castle grounds were wonderful. Seeing the people and the town as we took off. That was one of the better Gordon Bennett launches, I think.
And guys, what sticks out in your memory over the last couple of days from the views, from what you've seen? Anything come to mind straight away that was different than what you would expect?
Oops, I picked the wrong thing. You want to talk about the valley?
Oh, you go ahead. Since
We-
you didn't like it.
No, I did like it. It was probably one of the most incredible flights that Mark and I have ever done in our history. We were kind of in the mountains, and we got in this little valley, went low, trying to get away from the mountains so we wouldn't have to deal with them at night. And we had incredible wind speed down there with mountains on both sides. And there were little towns all along this road, and the children were outside screaming hello. And
Wow.
it was I filmed a lot of it. I'll share with y'all later, but it was really spectacular just coming down that valley from the mountains with mountains on both sides and few rotors. We had to maneuver a little bit with that, but it was
Wonderful.
pretty spectacular.
You know, sometimes we forget about this part of the journey. It's not all about the race and the distance. There's the experience and what you see along the way as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the French countryside was amazing. Flying over France for 300 miles of just green fields is just marvelous.
We passed right over Nancy and Metz, where the next balloon Gordon Bennett will be, and we passed over Vichy, where we've launched before in a Gordon Bennett. We saw Pau on the map, so we know the French countryside pretty well now.
Anything to say to the folks back home in USA who've not been to Europe yet?
Yeah, it's a lovely place to come and see. I think everybody in their lifetime should at least try to come and see France, Spain, any of the countries. The culture is really wonderful here. The food, the landscape, it's just so different than what you see in the United States.
Well, team, let me just have a look. It is 2 days, 12 hours and 13 minutes for your flight. 1,718.31 kilometers, USA 3. Mark Sullivan, Sherry White, congratulations. What a great flight.
Thank you. Thanks, Reagan.
We'll see you back
Have a
here,
great
guys.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great stuff and a big effort from Mark and Sherry.
It's incredible. And if I hear that they had enough ballast to go even to the fourth night, I mean, then it was not the ballast they had to land. And that is a great achievement. They're flying a yellow balloon, which is a little bit worse than the white balloons with the sun. So really great stuff. They were great achievement. Congratulations.
We've got some images on the screen coming up from the Netherlands, actually, Thomas. Let's have a look at what we've got there. Just a beautiful sunrise.
And that's what gas ballooning is about.
Yeah.
Listen to the quietness. I mean,
Yeah.
I hardly want to talk because that's exactly how you enjoy gas ballooning. You ride totally quietly into the sunrise. There's land under you. There's really good landscape, and it's just fabulous. It's just fabulous.
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. When you're off the ground, you always see the sun. Never mind if it's cloudy. That's what we used to say as skydivers in England. We see the sun every weekend because we climb up through the clouds. Beautiful.
There's always somewhere the sun, as you said.
There is. Well, we've got 9 teams still flying. Well, we did have 10 minutes ago. I've not checked since, so hopefully we've still got 9 teams still flying. Germany 2, they touched down this morning. Let's have a look at their landing.
Good morning, everyone, from the landing site of Germany 2. Woo! Yeah, we did it. We are really happy with it. It was a bit of a drag landing with a trail rope, but everything's safe. And now it's time for you know what?
Your well-deserved Stuttgarter Hofbräu.
Yoo-hoo! Do we have one for me as well?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the girls should be around, but we think it's a ranch where we landed on, so they might need to find a way to access it. But should be all right.
That's why we got it.
So we're gonna have a beer now, a well-deserved one, and wait for the girls. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. See you.
Nächste Runde direkt.
Brilliant stuff.
and you see, these are really close friends. They do a lot also privately together, and you see that they are having fun. And with the golden bag, I mean, that's something very typical for them. And look where they landed. They kind of made a revival of last year. So this is where Albuquerque is, Albuquerque, Spain. And they just landed north of Albuquerque, Spain. So shout out to all Albuquerque inhabitants in Spain and obviously to New Mexico.
We've been having some great shows and great communication with all you people watching as well. We know you've got lots and lots of questions over to the social media with producer Mark and Florian. What are people asking?
Yes, we have one question on YouTube from Supersado. He's asking, what is the highest possible safe sink rate? Is it allowed to lower part of the basket? Is it allowed to lower part of the ballast a few meters below on a rope in order to soften the landing in case of a high sink rate?
Yes, that's a very good question. So the highest sink rate, I would say, is around 5 to 6 meters with a gas balloon. Nevertheless, you then need to kind of level it out again, and that requires a lot of ballast. If you come down that quickly, you need a lot of ballast to level this one out. And yes, some teams even put ballast under the basket on a string, like about 10 meters under it, just to soften the falling and also to drag a little bit. So that's about the answer for that one.
Anything else there, guys?
Another question from Do Fox. Is it possible to fly to the island of Canary or the Azores?
So also this is possible because the Canary Islands are inbound. They are Spanish and Spain is part of the competition center. But I doubt anybody would go for that one.
Baltasar, Wiki and Rennie Ernie had an amazing few days. They had to land yesterday with Swiss 2 and I spoke to them this morning. Very good morning, Swiss 2, Baltasar and Rennie Ernie join us. Good morning, gentlemen. It looks nice and sunny and warm where you are.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Yep.
Talk me through yesterday. Tell me all about that.
Okay. Shall I start? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We had a great flight in the morning. We had a bit of a misunderstanding or a difference in our opinions with our command center. So we went low, and then we had to go high again. But that was before the Pyrenees, still in France. We crossed the Pyrenees in a perfect line in Pamplona. And then there is a little mountainous area behind Pamplona, which was extremely turbulent, which was, I have never experienced anything like that. I mean, we could see the balloon just, on the side like that. Yeah, that was just scary. Yeah.
And the descent was 5 meters per second.
Yeah.
And after 5 meters, heavy turbulence.
And speeds of 80 kilometers, 150 meters over the ridges. I mean, that was just that was an interesting experience. But nevertheless, we came out into the plain then, and finally we struggled finding more western winds, also very, very thermal conditions, blue thermals, so we couldn't really see it where it was. It was just blue with no clouds, but blue thermal conditions. And then finally in the evening, we got swept into a little kind of like a valley north of the airbase Alpha, and then we realized that we can't get out of that valley anymore because there was airspace Alpha just about 500 feet above us, and the mountains around were higher, so we couldn't really get ourselves out of that trap anymore. And so we decided to land in order not to violate the competition rules, Yes. And that was what it was at the end of the day. But and it was a rough landing, very speedy gusts, very gusty winds in the evening.
So 15 knots.
15 knots landing through the olive trees for braking, So we just skimmed the olive trees for braking the balloon a little bit, and the whole thing was kind of you landed you made the perfect landing, René. He was flying the balloon at that time. Really a perfect landing, but rough. So
yes.
That was it. Wonderful race. Interesting.
Fantastic. Tell me a bit more about that landing. People watching, are you wearing helmets or harnesses or just holding on? Tell me about your procedure for landing.
Yeah, I mean, we were wearing helmets and harnesses both. That's a principle, also in a gas balloon. Particularly if you have rough conditions like that. So we were prepared for that. Nevertheless, we had a bit of damage on our basket, but baskets are made for that,
Yes,
the basket gets a bit deformed than our knees. And so for us, it was safe, but it was a difficult recovery also because we couldn't access the field directly. So we had to carry everything out over a little wall, stone wall, dry stone wall. But all good. And here we are now. All is packed up. We're landing carts and continuing then our way back to the north.
Excellent. And what about the
landing was? I have to say that was a bit.
Say again,
please.
No, go ahead, Bottas. The landing was.
Please. The landing was more often than we expected because of these gusty conditions, and that was a bit a surprise. But that happens in ballooning.
Of course it does, yes. And the chase crew, how was their story to get to you?
The chase crew was on spot about 5 or 6 minutes after we landed.
Oh, wow.
We had previous, contact with them. We kept them coming back once we realized that we get into this kind of a valley, into a kind of a closed area behind north of Madrid in that mountainous range there. We realized that there is a possibility that we can't work ourselves out of that anymore. So we called them in and said, look, be in the area. So 5-6 minutes later, they were on spot, and that was super. Yeah.
Good. And then the night, where did you spend the evening?
Yeah, we went to a little hotel here, where we still are. Just a roadside hotel here in Spain. Cold beer, burger, everything perfect. We had a good evening, and I think the spirits are high.
Good.
Of course, we wanted to. We were very, very good in ballast, I have to say. We could have easily made the third night easily on the ballast. We had still about 40 to 50% of our ballast left.
Incredible.
Even though we had this very rough, crossings of this mountain range west of Pamplona. but once you're trapped in this, and you don't want to violate airspace regulations and competition rules, well, then that's it.
Yes. Your electrical system with the ethanol, that all worked as expected?
Worked perfectly, really, absolutely perfectly. So we didn't have the problems we've had last year. That is all worked out. That has worked perfect. Also, our command center has made a great job in leading us through the gap in Pamplona. It was a perfect crossing of the eastern part of the Pyrenees. That was just fabulous. It was just we were a bit late by that mistake we've made in France. We lost about 3 hours there, and these 3 hours we missed the good conditions for passing Madrid by these 3 hours. It was just the consequence of one mistake, but that's Gordon Bennett.
Fantastic.
Mistakes made early in the race, they punish you later.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's pretty good. 1,489.44 kilometers, 1 day, 21 hours, 32 minutes. Congratulations, and thank you for your time joining us today. We look forward to seeing you back here.
Thank you, Regan, and thanks for the great work also back in Münster. Huh? Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Great sportsmanship from the team there, Thomas.
Absolutely, and they admit that they did a mistake themselves. It was not bad weather or somebody else, and that shows greatness. I like that. Good sportsmanship here.
Yeah, we do. Questions, guys?
Yes, we have a few questions coming in regarding Morocco again. Why is the Moroccan territory prohibited for landings, and in the event of an emergency landing on this territory, what would happen?
Well, so Morocco is prohibited because we didn't ask for entry permission. It's quite hard to get entry permissions for these African countries. So we have no entry permission there. Nevertheless, in an emergency, you squawk 7,700 and 7,700, and you issue a mayday, and then any country has to have you enter the country and you can land there safely. Obviously, you have to do some explanations afterwards, but yes, you can land there.
And then another question that came up regarding the ballast. How are they making sure no agriculture or people are under the landing area of the ballast, and what happens with the bags after they have landed?
So you have to understand that the ballast is released as sand as such. Nobody throws out whole bags of sand, ballast. So when you throw out like a spoon or a bigger scoop of sand in some 1,000 meters, nothing will be felt on the ground. It goes like in dust
into the atmosphere.
Into the atmosphere, and the empty bags remain in the basket and are brought back because they are also quite expensive.
Anything else there, Florian? So we're going to take a little ad break, check in with our sponsors, and we'll be back with more analysis.
It is not the hours, minutes or seconds that define us, but generations. The watch collection from the Tutima family. Discover more at tutima.com.
All right, well, good stories, good questions, keep them coming in. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get up that algorithm. Thomas, back to the analysis of what's going on right now.
Yeah, so let's take a look. So Austria is now well over the ocean. So you can see that, and what you have to also point out is that Germany won, for example, in order to get down there, they had to go up to 6,000 meters. So this is an altitude which is really, really high for a gas balloon. Also means, so they are 5,933 meters. That also means that they are quite sold out on ballast, and you will need ballast for the landing a lot there. So it will be, but both Eimers are very skilled pilots, so they may even make that landing with less ballast. Yeah, so you see that Austria is going out. I also think that the French and the Swiss will also go over the coastline. These are the trajectories we see here, you know. So you see there are altitudes where you can get back into Portugal again. But there's also altitudes where you will miss the southern tip of Portugal. Nevertheless, down here, these are the spots down here at Sagres where that's the sweet spot. Let's say it this way. That's the sweet spot. You see down here, this is the line, you know. If we zoom in, this cape down here, I would call it cape, yeah, is where the winners most likely are aiming for, you know. And then you have two sweet spots down here. You can see this is how it looks like, and most probably this here is like the most furthest point you can achieve. You have two spots here. It looks like that this spot may be like a tiny bit further than this one, but it always depends where you land on that peninsula.
What kind of distance are we looking at then with that furthest point?
I think it's about 2,110 kilometers they would be able to achieve. And that's a fantastic distance for Europe. That is incredible. But also, I mean, landing on these, you need a lot of skill. And all these balloons which are still in the air, if you would ask me who has the most skill to land there, I would say all of them have. All are absolutely top-notch pilots, and they are all capable of doing such a landing.
It's exciting stuff. It really is. Let's just rewind a little bit and have a look at the sunset from 4,000 meters last night with Germany 1.
Hello everybody, just a short update from Germany 1. So it's getting darker now. We have in few minutes, but look at this stunning view. So we are almost 4,000 meter high. And that's also Gordon Bennett. It's not only a competitive gas balloon flight against good friends. It's also about a big adventure. So, feeling very good, as you can see here. Quiet, please. Stunning view. Tomorrow we will be in Portugal, so see you tomorrow morning. Now we changed our to stay warm during the night, and wish you all a good and interesting trekking night. Bye bye.
Keep following all the action live.gordonbennett.aero. We've got some more questions coming through.
Yes, we have another question on YouTube. Anna is asking, do you know why Spain decided to land yesterday evening?
Yes, well, there was a military exercise on the eastern part of Portugal, and this exercise was active until 2100 Zulu, and the Spanish team was just too soon there and couldn't enter into this airspace, so they had to land. So there was no way to obtain permission. There was a military exercise going on.
We got some video actually from Germany 3, and they touch on that subject a little bit. Let's take a look.
Good morning here from Baskets, Germany 3.
Good morning. We have a very warm night. We are going down and this on the inversion, and it was very warm, because we must have another direction to the west. So we go down in the night, and then we are very high. You see it in the tracking, and the fighting begins. I think it will be 5 or 6 teams who will fight for the Gordon Bennett Cup now on in the next hours. And yesterday evening it was a little bit Stasi, the España team must land before a military action. And we also have this direction, and we must go up very fast to get more to the south to avoid this area. But it's function, and now we are here. So we made breakfast now. I eat an apple, and you, Axel?
Maybe apple too. Ne?
Okay.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Bye.
Bye.
And anything above 10,000 feet for long periods of time, we start to need oxygen, and that's what they've got there in the noses, Thomas.
Yeah, and that was the what you heard there.
Yeah.
This is where the oxygen is being shot into your nose when you breathe in. It's a way of preserving oxygen, so you don't have to take that many gas tanks with you or oxygen tanks with you. And it's necessary if they're staying up there for 20 hours or more without oxygen. That wouldn't be good, and it's also a legal requirement.
There's something like above 10,000 feet at that kind of level, you've got about 40% less oxygen available to you, and the more height you get, the less you've got available, and hypoxia could be coming at you. So that oxygen there, how long would that last?
So it depends how many tanks they have with them. So typically they carry 2 tanks with them, and 2 tanks last approximately 48 hours, depending on how high you are. The lower you are, the less oxygen you need to get. And if you are like really up in 6,000 meters, there's a considerable amount of oxygen put into your nose.
We love your feedback. We get a lot of positive feedback about Gordon Bennett TV as well, and we do really enjoy that. But we want to hear your criticisms as well. Anything you would like to see different, anything you would like to see us do which you think would be really good for the show that we're not doing at the moment. We always take your feedback. Of course, we are budget constricted, but, you know, all your wildest ideas, us actually following along in a helicopter or balancing on top of a drone, anything you can think of, let us know. We do like to hear your feedback. And, of course, press the like, press the share. Our next show is going to be at 1700 this afternoon. Thomas, there's going to be a lot happening. Let's take one more look at where the predictions for the final landings could possibly be.
So this will be where the decision has been taken, and as you see, there is a cliff there, so it's not easy. You cannot land low in there. You have to really come from the top. I think this will be a skillful landing there.
Wow, what an afternoon it's going to be. Keep following all the action live.gordonbennett.aero. We'll be back 1700, 5 p.m. local time. See you then.